It's a leaky summer. We learned about a ton of interesting things that we're not supposed to because people got a bit too excited. We also have official announcements about the future of Horizon, a brand new single-player Black Panther game. But I want to start with Assassin's Creed Red, the game that I'm looking forward to the most, period. Like a new open-world RPG from the Odyssey makers, which is also the first next-gen only Assassin's Creed. Sounds really good to me. We speculated about it before, but now Arisa from Ubisoft's business development and brand partnerships post on LinkedIn that they were seeking sponsoring partners for Assassin's Creed codename Red for next year. And also how this would be the biggest blockbuster for 2024. Thanks to XDanimus, by the way, for the screenshot, because they changed the post, removed the mentions of 2024. Like, they want companies to make dedicated AC Red hardware, like we're now seeing for Mirage, where they announced the OWO gaming gear that lets you feel the game that you're playing thanks to vibration and other stuff. I don't know why you would want this. It's also €500, which is crazy. But yeah, is AC Red going to be the biggest blockbuster of 2024? I posted this list of all the games that are confirmed and kind of rumored, predicted for 2024. I even forgot titles like Hellblade 2 and Avowed. I would only argue that GTA 6 is bigger than AC Red from this list, not counting yearly releases like Call of Duty, of course. Take-Two does expect a very profitable year in 2024 with a $3 billion revenue jump, so GTA 6 makes sense for that. Although it could also be like a combination of their other titles, Borderlands, BioShock, etc. Either way, 2024 is shaping up to be great, and we will probably get a new Horizon release as well. Maybe a big Need for Speed reboot. Like a ton more leaks to go over. Also for a new Jedi game. If you love these news roundup videos, then leaving a like would really show your support. So thanks for that. And subscribe because I post one of these every Sunday. But first, the sponsor of this video, a brand new free RPG with a cool gameplay twist, A Watcher of Realms. I really like some of the high quality character models, and there are over 100 of these unique heroes to collect and upgrade from 30 different races and 8 different factions. They look stunning thanks to the motion capture technology, and each hero is unique and has a captivative story. And it's up to you to make the best team and use it strategically to complete the special story campaign and beat each level as fast as possible. There are also gear dungeons you can do to find better loot, bosses to fight, and you can also battle other players in the PvP modes that require new tactics thanks to the unique tower defense gameplay. Like the combat in Watcher of Realms is all about finding good synergies between heroes, placing them at the right time, and knowing which skill to cast when. With each chapter providing brand new enemies and challenges for you to overcome. So totally download Watcher of Realms for free via the special link in the video description. This would really support the channel as well. You can also find a link to a special launch event in the same video description where 2 top influencers will fight each other and you can win big prizes like iPhones and Switches. Okay, now let's get back into it. Yeah, it's official. EA is going to launch a single-player Black Panther game. We only got this image so far. It's being made by a brand new Seattle studio led by Kevin Stevens, the former Monolith Productions studio head, so with experience on Shadow of War, which already a huge plus. Also, developers that worked on Halo Infinite and God of War are at this new studio. The game will be third person and in collaboration with Marvel Games, and they promise to give us more agency and control over the narrative than we've ever experienced in a story-driven video game. Okay. Seems like choices will be a big part of it, which could be cool, but don't expect this to be a full open world Wakanda title, because that's never mentioned in the press release. Only how Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do. So I'm getting Dead Island 2, Jedi Survivor, God of War Ragnarok vibes, so linear but still with open levels, which I think is great. Like the Black Panther content for Marvel's Avengers showed that a full game about the hero could be really cool. Of course, the unique advanced technology combined with the colorful fantasy world is, I think, awesome to explore. The game is still early though, so we should not expect it anytime soon. We will very likely see a Last of Us Part 2 director's cut before it. Sony already released a PS5 version for Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima with that director's cut label, so obviously The Last of Us Part 2 would be next. And well, now we got the composer on both games, who we could see in Jackson early on in Part 2, say something interesting in an interview with the Spanish Blender, namely that in new editions we will be able to make him play play certain songs, and then he quickly notes that he cannot tell anything else. But yeah, this is already more than enough. Like in the PS4 version, we could not interact with him whatsoever, so actually being able to request songs would be really cool, which also makes this sound more than just your standard remaster. High chance that next to the PS5 it will then also come to PC, fingers crossed that it's a better port than part 1. But yeah, will they save this for the season 2 of the HBO show, when that will finally release in 2025 at the earliest, or will they launch it before that, especially now that the multiplayer project is in some sort of trouble? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think they can go both ways with it, but I can see them like launch it before the HBO season 2. Now kind of in the same vein, but this time it's a voice actor that got a bit too excited. She was in the Need for Speed Most Wanted game that launched in 2005, so not the one that came out in 2012. She posted out of nowhere on Instagram that the game would be remade, launched in 2024, and she tagged like Criterion Games, who also did the recent Need for Speed Unbound after taking over from Ghost Games. The Insta post was by the way deleted, but yeah, this happens all the time with these people not understanding how secretive the gaming industry is, so I totally believe it, and 2024 would be in that usual every other year release cadence for the Need for Speed series. So I think it's gonna happen, and then with Dragon Age and maybe even Skate, EA already has a decent 2024 lineup. While the next Jedi game will very likely be in 2026 at the earliest. Like if you were ever in doubt, we now have a Respawn job ad basically confirming that they're already working on the third title. It's for a principal game writer for the Jedi team, for a fun third-person action-adventure setting. But yeah, it's not a real surprise though if you finish Survivor, and the game director also always said that he wanted to do a trilogy. And also how a third game would mostly be built using Unreal Engine 5 instead of Survivor's Unreal Engine 4, and the job ad mentions Unreal Engine 5 as well. We got a 3.5 year gap between Fallen Order and Survivor, so I expect the same here, which means they're likely aiming for a holiday 2026 release. I hope that they take their time though and launch it in a better state, please. Now games known for being very polished at launch, on a technical level at least, are of course the Horizon titles. Some of the key developers of Guerrilla Games did a presentation at Develop Brighton, where they talked about the development challenges over the years. They noted how it was hard to make a sequel that had to live up to the success of the first game, and one interesting thing they said is that they almost cut flying due to PS4 support. I'm glad they were able to make it work. Like, would have sucked if Forbidden West did not have that because they wanted a PS4 version. It's only one of the best new additions and moments in that game. But the most interesting part from the talk is that as we speak, Guerrilla Games has 16 plans for the Horizon franchise they are considering, and also how they're going to continue the series for a very long while. Now 16 plans doesn't mean 16 games, could also be comics, Lego sets, but it's still a ton, and we already know thanks to official sources and leaks that they got many bigger projects planned. Like a third game with Aloy, a co-op title that I will talk more about in a moment, an MMO RPG by NCSoft got leaked, an Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, they will release Forbidden West on the PC, and we got a Netflix show coming. But yeah, the big one is totally that in-house multiplayer game that they've been working on for more than 5 years now, and they describe it as a massive shift for the studio, almost on the same level as doing the first Horizon. And then they're of course referring to going from a first-person shooter with Killzone to a third-person open-world RPG. Horizon Zero Dawn was in development for 7 years, so we could totally be looking at a similar development cycle, which would put the game in 2024 or 2025 at the latest. I really hope we get a proper look at it soon, so I can also stop using the same old footage when discussing this project. But yeah, 16 plans is wild, and probably means that even after Aloy's third game, they will make another single-player Horizon title, which I think could be cool if it focuses on different characters. Something I actually would not mind already for the third game too. Sure, still have Aloy in the game, but I also want to see other characters playable and see the world through different perspectives. I think that would be really nice. But yeah, another conclusion is that we should not expect anything apart from Horizon from Guerrilla for at least the next 10 years. And this is probably also the case for Sucker Punch with Ghost of Tsushima. Naughty Dog is full focused on The Last of Us, and Santa Monica will probably always make God of War. I love these franchises and would always want more, but we also should not forget that we got these series in the first place because these studios tried something new. I just hope that we still see something new from Sony's biggest teams, although of course that Cory Barlow game could be one of those projects. Let me know your take, of course, in the comments down below. I will keep you up to date here on the channel. Like, the next few years for Sony are going to be super interesting, especially because also this week they announced that they increased their R&D spending towards live service games they have planned. We're talking about $2.17 billion from now until March 2024, which is 40% of Sony's overall R&D spending. At least you could argue that they're putting a lot of money into this live service effort. They're trying, but it of course remains a huge gamble with them not having launched a single regular live service hit yet. Speaking of PlayStation, this coming week we will have new Spider-Man 2 info, so totally expect a video on that here on the channel. And the other ones I will keep a secret, or maybe I just don't know them yet. With of course a Sunday video at the end of the week as well. So subscribe to not miss it. I hope you have a great week. A like would of course be awesome. And you can check out last week's Sunday video with even more leaks by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.